Good morning and welcome to Behind the Screen. I am JM, your host of this show where we talk about games, gaming, game reviews, board games, just things that we love about gaming, things that bring us joy and things that are beautiful in the gaming space. Now, for some time, we have been talking about. Morning, Bob. I was just chatting with Bob, trying to get him to sign off on my sweet new Forge Cleric idea in case my fighter in his great game of Dungeon of the Mad Mage dies. He almost got his intellect devoured last night, and thankfully I play intelligent fighters, so it saved my bacon. So today we're going to talk about Crucible of Realms, which we have been talking about forever. And tonight is our actual first night that we're going to be making characters. Tonight at 7:30, if you want to join us, we're going to be making characters for Crucible of Realms, introducing the cast, talking about the game, introducing the new edges, the new hindrances, the new types of magic. And I am very excited about this game. This game kind of has a genesis in a number of conversations that I had with a good friend of mine named Phil over in the UK. And we were just lamenting the fact that there was nothing had really come up to replace the Planescape style of gameplay in the market that we had. I think you do know Phil in the UK. He's a great guy. So we've been spitballing this for about the last 2 years. Had a Google Doc that we were constantly, we'd have a flurry of activity and then we'd stop, and then we'd have a flurry of activity and we'd stop. And finally, I really was enjoying reading through Savage Worlds, playing Savage Worlds, and I was like, this could be a great game to run Crucible in. And so after talking with my players, talking about a lot of different things, I was able to get the buy-in to try this game on the stream. And that's what we're going to do tonight. But when I'm excited about something, I'm not just excited about writing it. I want a lot of... I want the bells and whistles. I want the sizzle as well as the steak. Hey, Rook, welcome back from the land of babies. I hope you are doing well. How's the hope sleep is not something that is foreign to your life right now. And so tonight we've got an overlay that I designed. We've got an intro and outros that I put together. I've got to fix a couple of things. I was reviewing them this morning and went, ooh, missed that. But I figured today we would share some of the behind the scenes stuff that we're going to show off tonight on the stream. So first of all, I've got a ton of new edges and hindrances that are going to be in play. The ones I want to kind of talk about is the new setting rule. I'm going to have a setting rule called Sacrifice, and it's going to work on a variety of different levels. But the main one is it's essentially the martyr card from Torg. If somebody's willing to give up their character's life to accomplish something, we'll see if we can make that happen with a roll. I feel like in a game about factions vying for control of the reality, the ontological building blocks of the universe, we definitely need something like that, because despite the grand ideals of the game, the individual personhood of the characters is just as important as that of the great factions. That the value of one life to change the world is important in this game. Added some new edges and hindrances around how magic is going to work. We'll go over all of this in depth, in detail tonight. But I'm also playing around with a setting rule called Factions, where every character is going to start with a D4 with one of the great factions. And they can take edges to increase that. They can be increased through gameplay and advancements. And essentially, it functions as a wealth die or an icon relationship die if you're familiar with 13th Age, where the players can, if they need to find someone, something, some piece of information in their faction, they get to make a trait roll with the faction die. They'll get to add their wild die, 4 better, they find what they want. On an 8 or higher, they get something additional on top of that. There's also going to be enemy factions. You can take a hindrance called Enmity with a great faction. You pick one that you don't already have a faction die with, and then as the GM, I roll behind the screen at the start of every adventure your enmity dice. And if I roll a 4, they're going to show up to challenge you in some way. If I succeed with a raise, they may end up being the big villain of the next adventure, or providing something more than just a complication, a hindrance standing in your way of what you are trying to accomplish. Rook, that is great to hear, my friend. Cheers. Can't wait to get some time to just hang out and chat with you about it. So, before we keep going on, we have an intro trailer that we put together at Iconic Production that we wanted to show off today on stream. It will be live tonight. And so we're just, without further ado, I'm going to jump into that, and then we'll be back in about 60 seconds. So that is the intro video for Crucible of Realms. We're going to be playing that at the start of every session. Pockets Wukong is going to be Ben's character, Bob, the Ben that you know, and I can promise much hilarity will ensue. Everybody who has watched the trailer has immediately said Pockets Wukong is the coolest name for a character. So he's going to play. So the characters that we're going to have, Haley is going to be playing Effie, who is a conduit, so a sort of paladin, willingly or unwillingly connected to the Morrigan, the Celtic goddess of war. Pockets is going to be playing a street mage, the sole survivor of the Great Monkey King's dynasty, which was assassinated in a single night. Samsara will be played by Gabe, who is playing a mantled of the city. The city has empowered him to different effects. And then Jenny will be playing Chen, who is going to be sworn is dragon-bound. So she will be bound to the great silver dragon of the city, and one of its agents out in of order out in the districts. So I am so excited about this. I will let Ben know that you will give all of all of your bennies to Pockets. So I'm really excited about this. We've got a cool overlay. I will be honest, I have borrowed, copied, and stolen all of this from what I learned as Bob was sending me all of the cool overlays that we were doing. Do not worry. Bob Crumb is going to continue to do all of our sweet overlays for the Strange Owl Games show, and hopefully, if the show does well and people are interested in it, I'm hoping to commission a tarot deck, the City Tarot deck. So, yeah, very excited about that. We'll have to see how the year takes us. I'm really excited about the possibility of the city deck. The city deck is going to be another type of magic. And in actuality, it's going to be a very weird magic. It might be too complicated in my head to start, but we'll smooth it out as it goes. Basically, Ben at the start of every adventure will make a reading of the deck. And based off the reading, we will he will have different powers that he will be able to invoke over the course of the day or over the course of the adventure. When he runs out of cards to play, he will run out of magic for the time. So we're going to see how that works. Thanks to one of our gamers and supporters, Tink. Tink has graciously filled out the tarot as is, and I'm currently working through unplugging the city stuff in there. So basically, each tarot card will have a set of powers, and he will be able to make a reading roll at the start of the game. He will get his reading, and depending on the orientation of the card, he will get a set of powers. Major Arcana will be massively powerful. The minor Arcana will be little effects, little groups of powers based off of the or actual edges based off of the way the game is kind of set out. And if the players totally change the factions of the city, there is a chance that the major and minor arcana can change. So we will just have to see how all that plays out. Big thanks to Tink. Tink, good to see you in the chat. So yeah, we have a lot of ideas for Crucible. And if this works out, Bob, I think you'll appreciate this. One of the major inspirations is the deck of dragons from the Malazan series and how those cards and houses keep changing in the deck even as the story continues. New houses arise, old positions are either fall off or new people step into it. We'll see how it goes. I'm pretty excited about this. So, that is all happening tonight at 7:30. If you are watching this on YouTube, that's happening at 7:30 on Tuesdays. We will be running a Savage Worlds campaign for the foreseeable future. You can check it out. We'll have a playlist called Crucible of Realms where all of this will go. And yeah, I am, again, just super excited about it. Between this and the beauty episode, I don't know what we're going to talk about on Thursday. Possibly we'll do an after action report, and I'm going to be putting out the call for campaign questions on the Iconic Production Discord, do another campaign clinic. So, I hope to see a ton of you tonight. John Doom, welcome. You missed the trailer, buddy, but I think we can play it one more time on the way out. So, tonight, Savage Worlds, Crucible of Realms. Looking forward to seeing all of you there. Bob, I'm going to write that down. Make D&D scary again. Maybe that'll be Friday. Bob, so just one last thing that has nothing to do with anything, but it's, my show, and Bob, I'm playing in Bob's game. Bob has been playing, running us through the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. At one point last night, darkness just fell, and there are two people, I think, in the party who can't see in the dark, and the tension was ratcheted up. He has us scared about opening doors. He has us worried about chasing a goblin down a hallway for fear that the goblin knows where to step and that all of these alcoves are lined with traps. So, yeah, let's do an episode on making D&D scary. Or let's just call it making fantasy games scary. And we're not talking about necessarily adding horror to the game, but just bringing that tension back. The tension that we all sort of knew and loved back in the day. So I'll put out the request on the Iconic Production channel. If you're a member of the Iconic Production Patreon, please jump in on the discussion. Ask your questions for the campaign clinic. I'll put the link up today. But if you are not a member of the Iconic Production channel, please consider subscribing here, jumping over onto patreon.com/Iconic Production. We've got a ton of cool levels that give you rewards, including up to and including, hanging out with us on the Discord channel. We have a really lively Discord channel, and we have a lot of great people on there. So, Rook, we need to get that settled out. Let me know when things settle down, and we'll have you on. We'll do a discussion of gaming on Behind the Screen, you and I. So I will leave you with one more view of the trailer, and I will see you all tonight for Crucible of Realms character creation. And if not, I'll see you all on Thursday for more Behind the Screens and talking about how to make fantasy scary again. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, stay gaming. Have a good one.